I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Very excited to have my next guest on with us here on Discover New Music from Saul, Blake. Blake, how you doing, my friend?
Good, man. I'm happy to be back chatting with you. We got a lot of love for JJO and, the people out there. So, happy to be here.
Well, good to have you. You know, it's always good when you get invited back. So we're doing good with Saul. And
yeah. That's a plus.
Well, let's get to it, because the last time we talked, we were talking your first album, first studio album, that is, after some EP releases. Now, sophomore album. This is it, the end of everything. Now, let's just put this out there, because the title might be a little doomy, gloomy for some. Let's talk about what's the story behind the title of your latest record, This Is It, the End of Everything.
Really, we kind of moved into that vein about how, you're sitting next to somebody and, like, instead of having a conversation, like in the song, you're a million miles away. You're just doing the Instagram, the TikTok thing. And it's really, losing that human connection. And we really dive in hard when we released the single A Million Miles about the entire the song is meaning that kind of thing, being a million miles away. And in the video, we really bring it out. And like, I'm a huge fan of like Black Mirror. So we really kind of dove into that kind of theme for the music video and the box, and they're in VR. And when they have to charge the system, they're getting all, upset and arguing with each other. So that's really the title of the record, just kind of let's get back to being a little bit more human and a little less social media life, I guess.
You brought up Black Mirror. By the way, I have not finished the latest season, so don't spoil anything for me if you have. So I just got done with the astronaut episode, which was kind of a crazy one. So that's all the farther I am.
That was super crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Anyway,
cool.
Well, I like this, and so a little bit more introspective on the title for This Is It, the End of Everything. And you mentioned the latest single, the video that's dropped for it, and what everyone's getting a taste of, A Million Miles. I really enjoyed that music video and kind of what you guys did and the take on it. And this whole record, does it kind of a journey on that? Does it continue that story of that? Just break down maybe the record and how A Million Miles fits in with the rest of the pieces.
Yeah. I mean, because we released also the singles Better as a Memory and Tooth and Nail, and every song has its own flavor. It's not one conceptual album, or all the tracks are not one conceptual thing, because we got tracks in there, like Tooth and Nail, and that was really the idea. Like, Ukraine was just being attacked when we were writing that song, and the idea behind that, if we had a Red Dawn situation, and like we'd be fighting tooth and nail as Americans. I mean, we're just gonna we'll get out there and we're gonna kick them or whatever, you know what I mean? So, we're going to do the thing. And like a song like Better as a Memory, that was kind of like an apology song to my wife and kids. I was getting pretty depressed right around when COVID and the lockdown hit, Revolver and everybody's like, the next big thing, check them out. And then we hit that lockdown, and I got like pretty depressed, and I was drinking a lot. So that was kind of like my apology song, to them. And we have a lot of songs, throughout the record. Us AD is a very, very personal song. In 2019, Zach and I, we lost our mom. And so Us AD, Us After Death, is like the story of dealing with that through my dad's perspective of losing mom and everything. So every song is very personal, and I think people are going to catch of that. It's real stuff.
This is a question I ask everyone when they come out with a new album, and I know this is stuff, and I guess I'm just going to build off of your answer right there. Do you have a favorite track? I know you mentioned a lot of them are personal, involving with depression, alcoholism, death. Is there one that really stands out to you, though?
Actually, it's crazy. The track that is my favorite on this record is the song Runaway. And it was really great the way that one came out, because it was like one of those studio things where you talk about like, people are like, yeah, it was the fastest song we did on the record, and it ends up being, the biggest track or whatever. But I was finishing up for a song on the record called The Last Parade, and Zach was like, hey, I'm heading back to the hotel. I got some ideas. I'm going to scratch them out, see what you guys think. Well, I get done with the vocals. He comes back, and he has the entire music bed laid out for Runaway. And we're like, oh, man, this is great. And we needed one track, to finish the record. And so boom, boom, boom. I was like, within like an hour, we are I'm cutting the vocals, we're listening to it back, and it was just that fast the song got done. And it turned out to be my favorite track on the record.
Wow, it's amazing how that stuff works out. And sometimes you can spend a month on a song and it doesn't turn out what you want. And then sometimes 5 minutes and you're all set to go. Well, I can't wait to hear more. We've already got such a great taste of it, and more to come from the new album from Saul. This is it, the end of everything.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
And I mentioned this too at the beginning of this interview. This is your sophomore album. Again, we had some EPs from Saul early on in your career and the formation of the band. And then you had Rise as Equals again in 2020 before everything went crazy and shut down on us. What maybe stood out in making this album compared to your previous work?
So when we did the first record, Rise as Equals, we worked with a really good friend, and he's fantastic, Chris Dawson out of Wichita, Kansas. Yeah. And we were really thinking that we were going to do this second record with him as well. But we ended up going and working a little bit with Kyle Odell out of Nashville, and working with him a little bit. And he was on the same vein where his post-production's a little more intricate. He adds a little more electronic vibes and everything. And that's kind of what we wanted to lean into for this record. So working with him, he brought that out a little bit more. And it's exactly what we wanted to do. And it was a great, great experience. He's a great guy. And at that time, so when we're down in Nashville, Disturbed is across the street finishing their record. And so we're sitting in our studio like, hey, neighbor, like they're over there cutting their tracks and everything. So it was just a really, really great experience, working on this record. And everybody was in the same vein. We didn't want to compete with the first record. We just had the mindset of let's go in and write the best songs we can write right now. And that's just what we did.
Did it kind of feel like a first record again? Because, 2020 hit, you guys had a Rise as Equals, and then nothing. Did this maybe kind of feel like a reset and a first album again? It did kind of have that feeling, because we didn't really hardly get to tour on Rise as Equals. We released the tracks and everything, was on that shutdown. And then when we did get to go out and tour in 21 with Atreyu, we did a national tour, but it's like, we couldn't leave the bus. You can only come in when you're performing. You have to leave, you know what I mean? It's like, it was a hard experience. So getting into this record, we knew let's just get back to our old selves. Let's go in there. Let's shake hands and kiss babies and do our thing. And then now we just got off the road with Memphis Mayfire. Great tour. It's just fantastic. We were with Memphis Mayfire, Norma Jean. Absolutely love the guys. Everybody had the same mindset of just let's put on a killer rock show. And it was great. And now we're getting ready to hit the road with our friends in Red. And it's just going to be fantastic. We're stoked. Well, we're so excited for you guys, because I know that just was a kick in the teeth for everyone, especially you, after coming in hot and releasing Rise as Equals. But hey, we're here. New Saul. This is it. The end of everything, and plenty more to come. And we're glad to have you guys back with us here. So everyone, keep a lookout, because great things to come from Saul, our Iowa boys. Before you go now, Blake, I do this with everyone, and I got to do it with you. It's a little thing called rapid fire. We're going to get to know you a little bit better. There's no wrong answers. Go with your heart. All right, first one, we'll start off easy. Everybody Wang Chung or everybody was Kung Fu Fighting?
Kung Fu Fighting.
Flintstone Push Pop or Choco Taco?
Push Pop.
Swear to God, you're the first one that says Push Pop. I'm glad I finally got that. I thought I was going to have to rechange that or something. It was too easy.
No. If they've never had a Push Pop, you got to have a Push Pop.
They are fantastic, especially after a hot day at the pool. Love it. Soaked jeans or damp socks?
Ooh, jeans.
Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
I got to go Bigfoot.
Go Bigfoot.
I think that'd be awesome.
Now, you're from a small Iowa town. Any Bigfoot or weird animal sightings there in Sutherland, I believe it is? What is that?
Yeah, Sutherland. No, it's a population of 700 people. And occasionally we get the drunk guy walking down the street, but that's the biggest animal sighting we usually get.
Don't worry, that's just Carl. It's just Carl Friday night.
Yeah. Dave being Dave.
Yeah, Dave being Dave. Last one. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Well, oh man.
I think Iowa has those too, by the way. Iowa does.
Yeah, they do. I got to go duck-sized horses. I think that might be a little funner because you can kick them, do the whole thing. It might be fun.
Just hunting these duck-sized horses left and right.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I think you could do all right. All right. Well, there you go. That is rapid fire. Once again, Blake, Saul, this is it. The end of everything. New music there, and excited to hear more from you guys. We appreciate the time.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.